There we go. Still thinking. What's going on, everybody? Lloyd Jones of Midnight Comics and rather indie breakdown, joined back by the two awesome creators, obviously from the Concrete Camp. We got Lonzo Starr and Jamel Lessie. I was gonna say introduce you guys, so that we kind of already did that. But we are back with another indie breakdown, battle breakdown, and we have four matches this weekend, right? We have Atridian versus Jupiter Man. We've got Blitz versus Powerhouse. We've got Vigilance versus Odina. But before any of that, we're going to be talking about Hopebreaker versus Darkspider. But really quick, because I kind of did you guys an injustice just now, introduce yourselves and the stuff that you guys have going before we bring them up.
Well, my name is Jamil Lessie, and I'm the writer and creative Absolver. And what I have going on is I'm just excited about releasing Absolver 4 this year. So, looking forward to that. I can't wait to get that in your hands.
Fire. Mr. Star.
What's going on, y'all? It's Lonzo, CEO and founder of Concrete Comics, writer, creator of Acolyte and Zoriel. And I've been working on a lot of top secret projects, man, that I can't wait to start promoting and sharing for the people. And we got a lot in store for you guys 2025. But as Mr. Leslie said, Absolve is about to close out the year. So y'all get ready for darkness because it's on the way.
Outstanding. Well, gentlemen, thank y'all. Before we jump in, we have two other creators, obviously a part of the Indie Breakdown group, whose characters are up against each other. We did bring up just a second ago. We got Hopebreaker versus Darkspider. We're going to bring both of those creators up one at a time so they have an opportunity to introduce themselves. And then we're going to get into why their characters should win an Indie versus matchup. We're going to start with Rashawn. What's going on, boss?
Hey, broski, I'm glad to see y'all. Y'all know my peoples. Convention crew, we always dap each other up when we see each other, so that's what's up. I'm glad to see y'all. I'm not too bad. Chilling in my new apartment.
Nice.
Just trying to get my situation together. But I'm all right. Thank you for having me on.
For sure. And what character are you bringing to the Indie versus today?
Darkspider. He's the Lawful Evil Universe's one of the main heroes in Lawful Evil Universe. He's actually the main hero in kicks off Lawful Evil, the comic, and he has his own solo book. A descendant of the Ghanaian spider god Anansi from the Akan tribe. So he's divinely powered. He has divine genetics, as most melanated people do. He also has, because his ancestor is a storyteller, and essentially Anansi's a reality warper. He has a little touch of that, but from a mental standpoint, with his abilities. So he that's kind of his his final shot, his last hit. But he's also been trained by a warrior called the Anansi Kin, which are specifically created and designed to fight another threat in our universe. One of the other characters who's they're part of. So they're kind of like, if you think about if Black Panther was Daredevil, the chaste, the Panther God, that kind of thing like that, but also had some of Professor X's abilities. So that's kind of where he falls in line. He's, I guess you could say, street level in terms of he's human level. He protects his particular hood, but his abilities, because of his lineage, extend. It's just that he's had a few traumatic experiences that prevent him from using them to their fullest, because when he was a kid, he did certain things, and it was like he used to rob drug dealers when he was a kid, and he used his abilities, and it was him and his two boys, and one of his boys, he got killed because he used, basically kind of misused his abilities a little bit. So he's very guilt driven, but also driven by, I need to get back. I need to make sure, I need to be the adult that I needed when I was younger. So that's kind of him. That's on him.
Okay.
And he's also a master of a number of West African martial arts: Dambe, Laam, Lutu, the Angola, which is the original, form of capoeira. So he has a number of tricks in his bag in terms of his abilities.
Nice. Okay. I'm sure we'll have a lot more questions. Did y'all have any questions for him on the onset here before we bring on Spiff?
No, I'm good. I'm waiting to hear it all before I
Yeah,
give
yeah,
my.
I'm
Okay,
good.
just
I'm
wanted to, I just
yeah.
wanted to verify. So, Rashawn, give us a second. We're going to
Mhm.
bring Spiff on to do the
Mhm.
exact same thing. All right, Spiff, you're up.
Yo, what's up, guys?
What's going
What's
on?
happening, boss?
What's up, bud? Hey, so yeah, my boy. Yeah, so basically, my name is Justin from Heartline Comics. Right now I'm bringing Hopebreaker to the fight. Definitely want to see what type of stuff we can get into. Definitely like the battle so far in the comments and everything. So yeah, I'm hyped.
Okay, and a little bit about uh, um, what Hopebreaker can do.
All right, so yeah, Hopebreaker basically has Nether energy, which is kind of an energy tapped into the Wraith zone, which is like you could say kind of like a spiritual realm. So he has soul chain manipulation that actually come from that world as well. He has soul drain, and yes, some other little things he can definitely do. You know, he could pull out weapons, kind of like some Green Lantern stuff, but kind of made out of ghost energy. So yeah,
Okay. Okay. So,
Bro.
okay. All right. So we've got both of them. I'm bringing Rashawn back up, and we've also got the matchup and stuff over here, so you guys can have a visual of Hopebreaker versus Darkspider. So, Rashawn, you heard a little bit about what Hopebreaker can do, and you've also seen through the comments or what have you what all he can do as well. I'm curious to know what Darkspider is doing against Hopebreaker. How do you see or
Uh,
foresee that battle playing out?
I foresee the battle playing out as a battle of skill.
Okay.
Dark Spider is for a number of for all intents and purposes a trapper. Um, he I have a story that I wrote that's coming out soon where he basically walked into a trap because he knew that would then entrap the person he was trying to get to. So he had his
Okay.
own. So essentially, Dark Spider is going to scope out the area first and foremost. Like I said, he has an ability called search telepathy. It's not so much he searches for thoughts. What he searches for is electrical impulses in the brain. Spiders, because they can sense magnetic fields and electric fields, they have a little
Mhm.
bit more. That's where the spider sense comes from because they can sense magnetic fields. So he being the descendant of Anansi and also, their main acuity or abilities being, I guess, a mix between mystical and mental, he's
Mhm.
going to search for Hopebreaker first. See where he is. He may not be able to penetrate his mind, but he can, if he has brain waves, if he's a human, if he's alive, if he's a living being, he has a brain. And so he can figure that out. He would probably attack from either the air or from the ground because his sickles can also burrow. They're not alive, but they're connected to him. They're blessed. Kind of think
Okay.
about Mjolnir. Kind of think like Mjolnir.
No new. Okay.
Um, in that manner. So they call when he comes. They come when he calls them mentally. And so he probably attack with those. They have a really long range. Based on what they are, based on just the wires that are connected to them. So he'd attack from a distance just to see, just to probe Hopebreaker's defenses to see what they're what they're like. Because, like I said in the other battle with Subject Zero, which was great, his sickles are at least have the durability to punch through the top of a car roof, and I'm not talking about a rag top. I'm talking about a regular car. So, and like slice through it. So he attacked from a distance with his sickles, kind of letting them go on a defense, not on a defensive mode, but like a probing mode, so that he can see what Hopebreaker's defenses are. With that being said, after he finds out what his defenses are, he would probably attack him. I'm not going to say directly, but he probably tried. If he realizes he can't get into his head, if he realizes that he has I guess I'm assuming some sort of armament or at least shock absorbing material. I'm not sure what his costume is made out of, but some kind of shock absorbing material. He'd attack him head on.
Okay.
Again,
No
Dark
stealth
Spiders.
necessarily. Just he's diving in.
I
So
mean, he could try to use stealth, but he if if Hopebreaker is able to find out that where he is, then he's not even going to bother. He's not going to try to he doesn't like doing collateral damage. He's not going to throw anything at him to try to misdirect him or whatever. I mean,
so real quick interjection, right? So their meeting is he doesn't know of Hopebreaker don't know of him. They just somebody step on somebody's shoe, and that's where we're starting.
Right, we in Gotham City. Okay.
We're starting.
And I'll do you one better. Yeah, I'll do you one better. Like, yeah, exactly that. But what I do want to do to get the ball rolling a little quicker is first encounter. I tell you what, I'm gonna have y'all pick a number between 1 and 7. Hold on. All right, I sent it to the team, so it doesn't seem like I'm making anything up. All right, Rashawn, number between 1 and 7.
7. Oh no, 6. Sorry.
6. Okay. Smith.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 4.
4. Smith, you win. Number is 3. You confirm that with Lonzo and Jamel. I sent it to them before y'all responded. You have first move. Gotham City. Boom. Somebody stepped on each other.
This is the coin flip. Okay.
Yeah, that's the coin flip, right? So what I want you to do, Spiff, is say, this is the move. Darkspider, I need you to say, this is my counter to that attack, and I'm, go on like that. We're going to go a couple rounds. Spiff, what do you got?
Our first move, I think Hopebreaker will play smart. He'll probably turn into his Wraith mode, becoming intangible and invisible. Probably, getting ready to use his nether weapons. That's what I would say first.
First move, he goes intangible, prepares his weapons. All right, lawful.
I assume again he still has brainwaves, so Darkspider would still be able to sense him even if he couldn't spot him physically. So he most likely keep his distance, or what he'd do is use a radial, take his sickles and swing them around him to swipe I would say the sickles reach to about 20 feet at their maximum length. So if he's in that anywhere in that 20 feet radius, he's getting hit or at least tagged by the sickles. He would do that.
So Darkspider is going to use the brainwaves to sense him out, and then use his sickle. That's your counter.
Right.
And just to confirm, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, Jamil. We might have the same question.
I'm good.
I was going to ask, when he goes intangible, is he going invisible, or is he just not able to be physically touched?
Yeah,
right?
Both basically. So intangible.
Okay. I was just verifying because I know, like Obito, right? If we talk Naruto, he's able to become intangible, but you can still see him.
Yeah.
Right. But then you have
Yeah, he can.
Quick question. How does he stop from falling through the floor?
He's a physical being, but he can make himself intangible if he wants to.
Right, but I'm asking, how does he stop from falling through the floor? Kitty Pryde rules, right?
Well, he can fly, so he can definitely stay above the floor.
Oh, okay. So he's flying. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, what's that next move? So you said you're attacking with the sickles, and being that he's a physical being, it's just that he's basically kind of doing a spatial manipulation where he's making sure that nothing actually hits him while prepping these weapons. Am I on the same page with you there?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the extra properties that's going on with Darkspider's weapons, are there any additional properties to it that will allow him to still hit something that's intangible?
Yeah, they're enchanted. Like I said, they're blessed. So right. Because the Anansi Kin, their main enemies are eldritch gods. Mm-hmm. His weapons are specially made to kill those things. Especially made to kill
spirits.
Especially made to kill anything that is outer dimensional. Anything that's outer dimensional. So go ahead.
Break. So to my understanding, Hopebreaker is a supernatural character, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Go
ahead, Rashawn. I'm sorry.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah. So anything that's outer dimensional, it was designed by Anansi specifically because this is a task. It's his fault that a lot of the problems are happening in the lawful evil universe. He didn't cause them, but he opened the door for them to happen. And as a result, he developed his bloodline, the Anansi Kin, to basically clean up that issue. and so their weapons are enchanted to attack things that are from outer dimensions.
Okay. So we want to
and
verify that because and not to cut you off there, but that was a very good comeback because now Hopebreaker, you're on the back foot. You're still prepping weapons when a attack that can, based on this statement, can still in fact hit you. Is he attempting to dodge? What is your move?
Yeah, I mean he is quick, so I think he could dodge it definitely if he sees it. If because it's coming at a distance, so he could definitely see it before then and probably make it. He's a bullet timer, so he could definitely dodge it.
He's a
Using
bullet timer. Okay. Elaborate.
that means he slows down time, right? Like
Well,
Max.
no, it means he can move at the speed of he can time bullets so
Yeah.
that he can basically move faster than them.
Yeah.
It has to do with tracking the weapon.
I was gonna say, is he perceiving the bullet, or is he trajectory tracking?
Trajectory tracking.
Okay.
So it's Batman.
Right. So okay. So you're spending this move dodging the scythes.
Yeah, by that time he'll probably pull out because Hopebreaker has two nether energy miniguns, so he'll probably conjure them up and just start blasting and seeing.
So in the midst of fleeing, he's still able to conjure up weapons. He's not mentally. He's not going to mentally get detached.
No, he could definitely conjure them up still.
Yeah, I know he can still conjure them up still, but
I think he's trying. What's his prep time is what you're asking.
As your character, you know, everybody's flight or fight. While these magical sickles are coming at him, is he still able to concentrate while trying to dodge and form these weapons in record time? Because the sickles are coming fast. Because I'm assuming Darkspider is going to have him flip back around and keep coming at you.
Not only that, they'll probably ensnare you.
I think honestly, Hopebreaker could dodge it just because of his speed alone. If not, at least get a couple feet back and then prepare his weapons to start blasting at him.
Well, he did say that they're only like about 20 feet. So that's not like that's not like a very large distance. You know what I mean? A couple step back, especially if Hopebreaker's fast, he can get out the way of that. You know what I mean?
Secondary question though. Do they kill?
Hopebreaker, yeah, he kills.
Okay.
Yeah, Darkspider's the source of most of his trauma is because he killed somebody.
Got you. I wanted to verify because, obviously, based on your explanation, Darkspider is fighting entities similar to Hopebreaker, if I'm not mistaken. So,
yeah,
or characters similar too. So that was more pointed towards Hopebreaker to verify if you do kill him because he doesn't look like a villain per se. He looks intimidating, looks imposing, but I'm wondering if just off rip, we're fighting, I'm gonna go for the kill type situation. But again, he did throw some scythes at you, so fight or flight response definitely acceptable. And of course, to speed it up, again, we're gonna keep doing this, but I first one to land, Jamel and Lonzo, throwing you 2 cents, either first to land killing blow or just first to land a strike. What do we want to do as the determining factor? I'm trying to only go to 10 moves. How do we want to determine?
It's the killing blow. For me, it's a blow or a position where,
Gotcha.
It's like checkmate. You know what I'm saying?
Understood.
And I will double back on that. His response was that he would be shooting, his weapons.
Correct.
At Darkspider. So my thing now is how is Darkspider protecting himself from that?
Right.
He's dodging.
He's still using his scythes right now too. Is he he's mid-use?
Darkspider can have his senses. He can sense things coming at him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the sides. So, like I said, the sides are connected to him in the same way as Mjolnir. So, if they have different modes, I guess you could say. I got this. If anybody's ever read the Chronicles of Amber, the main character has a bracelet called Fakir, and it's basically the sides are designed specifically.
Mr. Watts.
So they.
His Jones kind of chopping up for me. I can't hear him.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta.
It sounds like basically guys' weapons are just gonna cancel each other's out. while he's shooting at you.
Hold on, can you guys hear me? I gotta jump on my
Yeah.
on my
Yeah, we can
computer
hear you, boss.
because my phone's getting too hot. My phone's getting too hot. I'm gonna jump on my computer real quick.
All right. It sounds like to me while he's swinging the sifts and he's shooting the bullets, they're just kind of canceling each other out. You know what I'm saying? So now they're back to both 0-0.
You want to? I don't. I'm doing an interview. Sorry.
I don't know.
Sorry. Give me a second, guys.
I feel like them sickles landing while if you're falling backwards. Because you still don't know where Darkspider is at.
Yeah, but he don't necessarily know where Holtbreaker's at either. Because he's just swinging.
How far did it?
Holtbreaker he already sensed them in the room. So
yeah,
Darkspider knows where Holtbreaker is, and Holtbreaker doesn't know where Darkspider is. Just based off of what they both
So wait, they're both intangible right now?
Nah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Holtbreaker knows where he is. He can't see Holtbreaker. So he's swinging the sickles to find him in the radius if it hits him anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And then while Holtbreaker's backing up, he's shooting his guns. His sickles are probably taking out the bullets as they're flying in, and we go from there. That's how it sounds to me.
I thought he said Darkspider has this ability where he can sense people in the room, whatever. I didn't hear anything like that from Holtbreaker.
He can sense if he has a brain. He can sense.
Well, yeah.
That.
Yes, Holtbreaker has a brain.
Yeah, so Holtbreaker, he can actually see people's souls. So even if Darkspider has some sense of like invisible or cloaking, he can see his soul still. But I think Darkspider isn't invisible in this.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
I don't know. I think he's reconnecting.
Okay. There we go. Testing. All right. You must have went to switch to the computer.
Major shout out to everybody that's commenting too, man. We got Mr. Watson in there. We got Molly. We got Dre. We got Brandon Manga. Shout out to all them, man.
What's going on, y'all? Oh man, shout out to Brandon, one of the interns over here at Midnight Comics, man, doing amazing work, man. Appreciate you jumping in. All right. I can't hear you if you're talking, Rashawn. Oh, okay, he's still getting it together. Off of what we've heard so far, gentlemen, who do we see taking this at the moment?
Right now it's hard to say. Holtbreaker is intangible. I still don't believe he would have been able to sense where Darkspider is if we're talking about him sneaking in. But it sounds pretty even to me. Like they got whatever they have, it just cancels.
Yeah.
Basically.
Like on paper, I definitely agree with you. Like on paper, and I think I agree with Dre on this. That Holtbreaker for the most part does have him outclassed, like on paper, like perfect scenario type situation. But Darkspider, like Holtbreaker has more in his arsenal, but I think Darkspider's kind of reflexes and those blessed items and stuff like that could give him a slight edge. But I think if he messes up one time, it's game over. If there's any mistake on Darkspider, it's over. Whereas Holtbreaker definitely has more leverage and opportunity to still swing and come back from him.
Yeah, same way I feel. I feel like Darkspider has to remain on the offensive and not allow Holtbreaker to get on his offensive. You know what I'm saying? It's like he has to just keep attacking and keeping Holtbreaker off his balance. Because if not, I don't know too much about Darkspider's durability or what he can or how he can handle some of the offensive abilities of Holtbreaker.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Great. I can respond to his durability. The guy who his main nemesis has hit him before. His main nemesis is kind of like our Superman, but he's Booster Gold if he had Superman's powers. Basically, he is strong enough to stop an approaching asteroid the size of Long Island.
Who's strong enough for this?
This is our nemesis. This is Time
Okay.
is his name. Darkspider has taken a direct hit from him before and lived.
Okay, Hopebreaker, are you hitting with that same intensity? Out of curiosity.
No, definitely not.
Okay, fair enough. So we'll sidebar that at the moment. What was that? Who was next? What was that next point of attack? Were you still in the middle of dodging Darkspider?
Yeah, he's in the middle
Yes.
of dodging Darkspider.
Right.
Well,
you're
he
still
was shooting at
Right,
He's
Darkspider.
getting
Darkspider
shot
is
at.
dodging, right.
So both
Right,
of
so
them,
you-
both did the slight defensive attacks. So
Right.
now they probably both like, okay, he's there, I'm here. Boom. Now they probably see each other.
Now we're at a reset.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no, Darkspider was on the offense.
He's on the
Hopebreaker-
defense, then he had to get out the way.
He was on the offense, but it turned the defense when he started shooting back at him.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, both of them have felt each other out.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening now, Hopebreaker? You see that
Right
he's
now,
faster than these bullets and everything. Now what?
yeah, he'll probably because he can see souls. I don't know if you've so he has the ability to see souls, so he'll be able to see where he is. I would say at that point he'll be like, all right, cool. So he can dodge this. Let's see if he can dodge his chains, and he'll probably use his chain manipulation to come in and try to grab him and get a hold of his soul.
Okay.
In the middle of Gotham. Now, can he specify specific souls, or he just sees like if there's like 20 people in front of him, he can't differentiate the who his target is?
It would be very hard for him to actually see like which soul is him, but I feel like a soul will look like, I mean, at least in a comic book, like normally a soul looks like your character, so he'll probably be able to determine like which one is him.
I mean, the soul would look like the character, not the character in the suit.
Yeah, that's true.
So that means if they're in the middle of Gotham and there's like 5 people there, Hopebreaker won't be able to tell which one is Darkspider. If Darkspider decided to stand still or whatever.
So wait, but how does he see the souls though? Because everybody's soul may have a different signature. You know what I'm saying? His may have a little different glow to it, or like I don't know how it works when he sees.
It does actually, and I'll explain that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so for his soul, for him seeing souls, like I said, like at least in my universe, the characters look like them, so he'll be able to actually, obviously see. He wouldn't know who Darkspider is, but I mean, if the sickles are coming from a direction, he'll be able to like see where it came from.
I see. Okay.
Interesting. All right, so we're back at boom. Both of them threw out defensive attacks. Neither of them landed accurately. Now, who's gonna counter first?
Well, he said he threw his chains out. So 2 things. Sickles are reactive, so as they're coming back, they're intercepting the chains. That's 1. 2, I mean, he could see Darkspider's soul. The chains wouldn't do anything to him unless like physically crushing him, because Anansi's his great grandfather. You don't get born from a god and then not have little perks. So he was born with a little perk, which is because the people. So one of the characters we had on the verses, Lily,
Lily, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Her family are known as dream spawns. That's the Eldritch beings I talked about. Dream spawn are succubi and incubi. They take souls normally. So Anansi, knowing that was what he had to contend with, put a little bit of something in all of his descendants. So their souls are off limits, because he owns them, nobody else. And so you can't really.
Isn't that kind of detailed to your universe? This is another universal. Another universal cat who, in his universe, he may have dominance over. He may be almost. His power may be equal to offset what Anansi's is in your universe, where his soul is just up for grabs. But Spiff would have to answer that.
Yeah, he would answer that.
Yeah, so I mean, the chains are like powerful enough to have like. So we have Superman-esque type characters in there, it's able to restrain characters on that type of magnitude, because it's not about physical strength. It's about your soul, but also the chains don't just come from one direction. It's multi-directional, so he's opening up portals which the chains are then coming from another dimension. It's holding them down. So to break from the chains, you have to be on your willpower, your whatever it is has to be on another level to be able to like restrain the chains, basically.
So nothing on the level of a reality warping god. Then.
Why did you lie?
No, not reality warping god. No.
Nah, he's more. I think Hope. Cause I remember fighting Hopebreaker with Zoriel, right? And he's pretty normal as far as durability wise. He can be hurt, he can be hit like that, but he has almost like a Ghost Rider kind of thing. His chains are like Ghost Rider's pennant stare, right?
Yeah.
So just similar to that. That's why I say like I don't feel like the chains are really linked to the soul as much as just something that can restrain you. You know what I'm saying? If they get a hand on you. But like you said, his things are blocking the chains and they're whopping that, you know what I mean? So I drop this in Mr. Leslie or Lloyd's hand. I want to know what y'all think.
Mr. Leslie?
I think no matter how you look at it, it's going to be a stalemate. The sickles is automatically blocking the attacks. Hopebreaker is still not intangible. I feel like based on descriptions, they're both blind. I totally believe Hopebreaker cannot see the particular soul unless the sickles don't have a soul, and Darkspider still can't get a hit on Hopebreaker. I mean, they're both just swinging blindly. To me, it's still tied up.
So a good statement from Tavis. He said, even if Darkspider can break the chains, the question is how long would that take? And during that time, he's struggling to break them. Hopebreaker can drop the finishing blow. So he's saying the change could be his checkmate.
Mm-hmm.
And how would Darkspider get out of that? Like I think his top priority would be evading those. You know what I mean?
But if the sickle is automatically doing all the work, Darkspider mentally and physically is still free to you know what I'm saying? Like the sickle doing
He's
the work.
Still exactly, yeah.
He's still able to move around. Hopebreaker is still shooting blindly, even though he's intangible.
But I guess though, how strong are the sickles versus the chains?
I don't know how strong his chains are. I mentioned how durable, at least with the cutting power of the sickles, are.
Can you rephrase how strong? Repeat that then.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, they're strong enough to pierce through the top of a car, not a rag top, and slice straight through them. Durability wise, they broke on the body of the guy who I mentioned can lift
the meteor.
Right.
Okay.
So these chains are coming from another dimension, right? So I don't know what the durability of these things are, but I don't know. That could be a problem. His sickles could just be breaking while there's chains are coming.
We need to know what the durability of the chains are, though.
Right.
Yeah. So Spiff, how strong are these chains? Are these like otherworldly chains or?
Yeah. So like I said, they have the ability to hold down like Superman-esque type characters. It depends. Like if it gets a hold of you, like I said, you would have to really, really have like a powerful soul or some type of willpower to be able to break through that. Because physical strength isn't going to work against that personally.
That's not going to work on Darkspider though. Again, because I mentioned of his divine lineage, and even though this is a united universe, Darkspider's divine lineage defines who he is, so you can't separate it from him. You can't him being Anansi's descendant is how I specifically designed him. So you can't. That's like saying like Black Panther isn't blessed by Boss anywhere, or isn't like it doesn't work.
You know? So I got a question. So your character's soul can't be touched at all. Is that kind of what you're saying?
It's off limits, yeah, because it belongs to somebody else.
Okay, that was nice. Okay, got you. Because I was wondering, because we were talking about that with Zuriel a couple weeks back, where that's kind of encased in elsewhere. So again, with his connection to another deity and stuff like that. I was going to try to ask that question as well. So thank you for clarifying that.
It kind of remind, you know what the chains remind me of when you fighting Brainiac on Injustice 2, man, and them Jones just coming from everywhere, like the ground. Like, how do the chains? Are they like? How many chains are coming out, and what directions? Is it just everywhere? Like,
Yeah.
how does it work?
So yeah, basically he can control it. So what he's basically doing is he's opening up a portal, and then the chains are traveling through the portal. So he's not technically calling the chains; he's calling he's calling them through an actual portal. So he's conjuring up the portal, but he can do this on the fly. So while he's fighting, he doesn't have to think. It's kind of like second nature. But like in the beginning when he's first using it, obviously he has to open up the portal and actually concentrate. Now, like in his form, he doesn't have to. So he's just multi-directional, coming from behind, side, diagonal, and everything.
So, quick
My
question.
Dark Spider would be, how would he in Dark Spider's, he's doing his thing, dodging his thing, but in that mist, he has to counter because he can't just if he just continues to be on the defensive, I don't think them chains are gonna stop. So he gotta do something. He gotta do something to stop.
Quick question. Are they still blind? Are they still blind?
I don't know. Well, are you talking about
I mean, if Hopebreaker is opening portals, you can, depending on how many open at the same time, Darkspider can pinpoint where Hopebreaker is. By this time, Hopebreaker already knows what Darkspider is. They're just countering each other. And like I said, even if Darkspider was to even be able to get a blow on Hopebreaker, we still don't know how long his intangibility lasts.
Right. Well, the reason I asked that he's still blind is because how is he targeting Darkspider if he doesn't know where he is? Is he just throwing chains out to kill people, like random people?
Well, he saw his soul. That's what he said. He could see his soul because it's just them two right there.
Oh, I thought there was mention of people, possibly a crowded Gotham.
I mentioned people because when we started this thing, it said in the middle of Gotham.
Right, in the middle of Gotham. Gotham's not empty most of the time.
So again, it's a matter of, are those chains, do they destroy everybody in their way or only their target? Because if he destroyed, the chain hits one person, the battle done. That's a casualty.
But he's swinging the sickles, so they're coming from somewhere.
The sickles only dodging the chains, though. He ain't hitting nobody.
But what I'm saying is the sickles are coming from one central location, right? So if they're swinging around something. It may be invisible, but they're swinging from something. So he would see like, oh, he's there, because they're blocking whatever he's throwing at him. He's shooting in a direction, so he sees where he is.
Right, he's just following the breadcrumbs to his actual target,
while shooting in the middle of the street.
Right,
at random.
Apparently, Hopebreaker don't care about killing.
But we're talking about the versus match.
I know. I'm just saying, if he's deflecting, whatever Hopebreaker's doing, he's giving up his location. It's just like in a Predator. Once the Predator shoots at you, even when he's invisible, everybody's like, "Oh, he's right there. Shoot in that direction." You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So let's get to the end game here, because what it sounds like is it's a stalemate back and forth. Both of these characters realize now, okay, none of this is working. I've got to pull out my penultimate move to end this ASAP. Great points by the other gentleman. Like, we're in the middle of Gotham. People can get hurt by this. I can't let this stand. I got to end this now. What is the move that's going to end this all?
Come on, Spliff. What's the move? How you taking out Darkspider?
I'm gonna say if he goes up close, he has to deal with. Oh, also Hopebreaker's cape. I don't know if you guys know, but it's actually symbiotic, to where it can move on its own. And so if he conjures up his nether weapons and his cloak, so he's basically fighting like multiple different targets. I don't know if you've seen like the pictures. It's in the comments somewhere. But
the black and white picture.
That's the one with the chains. But there's one with.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one with him using his actual like cape. So basically, it looks like a normal cape. It's like made out of cloth, or that's what it looks like. But it's actually very sharp. So like upon touching it, it can definitely cut you. So he's fighting against that, plus close range weapons, and as well as like soul draining. Like, how would he get? Because as soon as he holds him down or soul drains him, he gets enhanced speed, strength, like durability. So I'm wondering how he can get dodging.
I feel like I already negated the soul draining. Like he can't do. It's not his to drain. You'd have to deal with Anansi at that point.
And so, if that's the move, that's the counter.
But here's the thing: if Hopebreaker drains his soul, you say he has to deal with Anansi. Technically, Darkspider loses, and Hopebreaker is now fighting Anansi. Point is, Darkspider loses that point.
Well, I
I
think what we need the clarification is if he is now facing Anansi, if I'm to bring anime into this, right? I'm thinking about Naruto. Oh no, Naruto's knocked up, but Kurama is there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is Naruto out of the game, or is it another entity that dwells within him taking over now?
So that's what I'm saying. Does Anansi take over?
Anansi can possess his descendants. Yes.
No, but no. Here the direct move is Hopebreaker just drained.
Well, like I said, his soul can't be drained. That he fights entities that drain souls. So as a safeguard to that, his soul is protected from being drained. Like draining doesn't work on him. That's what I mean. Nice dog. What kind of
just German Shepherd mix? At least that's what they said.
So the soul can't be drained, but he can be hurt, right?
He can be hurt. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So without the soul draining part of it, can what Hopebreaker did kill him?
It can knock him out. I don't think it can kill him. He said he couldn't hit with the tonnage of Primer, so he couldn't kill him. He could KO him though, but he couldn't kill him.
Okay. I guess my next question is back to Hopebreaker. When going in for that move with the intent of draining his soul, is he trying to hit him with enough strength to knock him out, or is it with just to get close enough to utilize this technique?
Just use the technique.
Okay. And now it doesn't work. What is this final move and potential counter? Darkspider.
Darkspider's dropping. Darkspider's dropping his sickles and letting them form a lattice work around him, like a spider web or a cat's cradle. He's then ricocheting off of those sickles, off of the wires on the sickles, and Superman punching Hopebreaker in the jaw with everything he has.
But I've asked, I'm sorry, Lloyd, but I've asked, how long does that tangibility last? Because at this point, can the sickles even wrap around him? Like, I mean, there's those.
No. They're not wrapping around. They're not wrapping around around Hopebreaker. They're forming just the web, so Darkspider
around the vicinity.
Think about if you play.
Like that Marvel vs. Capcom move with Spider-Man jumping everywhere.
Yes. Maximum Spider. He's doing the Maximum Spider.
There you
go.
Okay.
But I need to know how long that tangibility lasts. Did it ever come off? Is it like 5 seconds?
Yeah, it lasts a long time. He can basically be intangible for days at a time if he really wanted to.
Okay.
So it just depends when he wants to interact with the physical world, which is like most of the time in the story.
So while he's fighting,
so then when he's intangible, he can't physically do anything.
No, except for using his nether weapons and stuff like that. And he can still conjure up all of his abilities while he's intangible.
Okay.
So what's Darkspider's stamina? Because at this point, that's what's gonna come down to. This man
does a Darkspider have anything else outside of physical attributes? Like
he has the Spinner's Web, which is a mystical telepathic attack. But I think in the chat he said that mystical telepathy won't work on him.
Okay.
Spinner's Web.
Obviously,
it's basically like Professor X, but like the astral plane, Professor X.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but he basically gives you a seizure.
Okay.
Can you do anything else with that? Can he possess bodies and do anything
He can
else?
show up. He can plant we were playing with this idea of him planting images, like not images, but like remember in Arkham Origin, or was it Arkham Origin when Batman kind of like had Joker in his brain? Anybody remember that?
Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight, where he had Joker in his brain. He can do one of those, and it kind of like not distracts you, but you basically succumb to hallucinations.
Question: Does Hopebreaker have internal organs and all that stuff like that?
Yeah, he does.
So he's just a normal dude underneath that.
Not normal, but enhanced, I would say.
Enhanced.
Okay.
Interesting.
I don't think I personally have any further questions. I think on this very specific scenario, Darkspider kind of took the win in the kind of back and forth. On paper, again, personally, I think Hopebreaker does look more impressive, and outside of the very specific, obviously, how we just talked about, right? How you guys would see the battle taking place. On paper, Hopebreaker is still like a very tough fight. But again,
Right.
take into account that durability for Darkspider against what's the character's name that had the asteroid? Did you say Primus?
Primer.
Got it. Yeah, that's a very impressive feat. So yeah, if Hopebreaker's not out the gate trying to hit as hard as he can, then yeah, he's kind of screwed. In that sense.
Also,
But
Alonzo,
again,
by the way, I thought Zuriel won that fight. That's just me.
Hey man, I don't talk about
I know.
my misjudged battles, man.
I know.
But
I
all
just
praise the Hopebreaker, man.
what I saw, that was just me. No disrespect to Spiff. I just thought that Zuriel had I thought her toolkit was pretty good, but that's just me.
So for me, I think I would have gave it to Hopebreaker if he was going for the final blow instead of the move. Because now once he got that move and it don't work, Darkspider got you in the web now. It's gonna be, I don't know what you're gonna do to stay out of that riffraff of constant close interaction with Darkspider now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would have gave it to Hopebreaker if that final move would have been something like he trying to cut his head off or something, or he wanted to just stab him or something. But that move ain't gonna work. So I don't know. I don't know.
Question real quick. So when he's up close and fighting him with the cape and everything, what is all right, so also the web, does it work with intangible creatures or
He's
what?
he's not rapid. Well, it's magical, so it wouldn't matter. It doesn't matter because it can ensnare intangible creatures, but he's not. He essentially made a web around the both of them so he could accelerate his speed by bouncing off the webs the way the spiders do regularly, and then hit him with a basic, not as strong as Flash's infinite mass blow, but remember in Justice League when Flash ran around the world, it's the same principle. The more acceleration you have, the harder the hit's going to be.
Okay, so what's the counter for Hopebreaker's cloak and his nether energy weapons up close, taking on multiple different targets at once? Because remember, the cape is symbiotic, so he's taking on that while Hopebreaker's fighting as well.
Can it put him down? Darkspider. So Darkspider kind of is low key based on me when I do MMA. For those of you who don't know, I'm gonna take one to get one, dude. So if you hit me, if the next hit you got coming, I got two coming for you. So Darkspider kind of fights the same way. You think about Daredevil, right? You think about that kind of this Moon Knight. Okay, you can hit me, but if you haven't killed me, you better run. So Darkspider's so he'll take those hits. He also has he has plate armor on his chest and some of his vitals. As that vest there, that's like a special Kevlar. So he's a take one to get one dude. So if he sees people getting hurt, if he sees all of this destruction happen in the city, his first thing is, like Jamel said, I have to end this quickly. And that's what he's going to do. If it's going to hurt me, I can recover. He has regenerative healing properties. There might not be as advanced or as quick as Hopebreakers, but he can give a dude a concussion.
So I guess one thing I saw with Hopebreaker's cloak is that it be piercing people. You know what I mean? It be going through people. So if he was to get pierced somewhere in the leg or something like that, how much does that affect his mobility at that point? How fast can he regenerate while he's fighting? Does that amp him up if he gets impaled? What happens at that point?
So he's a fighter. He's been trained to be a fighter. He's been trained to be a warrior. Again, the Anansi-kin are a warrior cult. So the things that have been done to them, think about it like The Witcher, or again like Black Panther. Their bodies, when they go through stress, they have various adrenaline dumps that take place. I guess also I have another question. What is the cloak's piercing ability? Because I only saw it pierce regular people, but I don't. What is its piercing durability?
Yeah, it can pierce through like creatures. It's mostly used for like I said, an offensive. But you can use it defensively as well. It's like I said, it can pierce through steel, anything like that.
Okay. So it could definitely keep up with the material of the chain. So if that ever we had that chain battle happening back and forth, so hypothetically, if Darkspider's chain broke through that defense, the cloak would be next, and based on the material, it wouldn't be able to pierce that.
Well, here's the
Right.
here's the thing though. For this, I'm only going to give my answer based on this particular scenario, not the
Hypotheticals. Yeah.
not the verses and everything.
Okay.
For one, Hullbreaker is doing a lot of processing. Has to stay intangible, forming weapons, shooting the chains, and I guess the cloak has a mind of its own. But still, all in all, that's that. The only thing Dark Spider caught a break because Hullbreaker didn't go for the kill when he went to snatch his soul.
That's true.
And that's why Dark Spider is able to form that web, and now they're going crazy. So, if I'm just based off of this scenario, I'm gonna say Hopebreaker won from the time he shot those chains, because as I listened to everything, they all got it's a lot of computing going on between these characters, but
Correct.
Dark Spider is constantly responding to what Hopebreaker does. And with that tangibility, Dark Spider would inevitably just lose. So just based off the information of how he could perceive souls, even if it was like 10 people or 100 people walking in Gotham, Dark Spider would be the only person looking funny in the street doing some shit. So
that's true. That's true. That's true.
You know, so
Yeah.
I feel you lost.
Where's the street popping and locking, right?
So so just based off the scenario, I think Hullbreaker took it before it even made it to the web. But this is enjoyable.
For sure.
I feel this. I feel similar because what's keeping me from making my decision is that after this close encounter, his move misses, and they're right there, right? The only reason why I can't, it's hard for me to give it a Dark Spider is because, like you said, it's the cloak, the chains, and then Hopebreaker. Like you fighting all these things at once. So in the beginning of this fight, we said for Dark Spider to win this strong, he has to stop him from getting on his offensive. He has to be the offensive one, constantly stopping Hopebreaker from getting distracted, or keeping this Hopebreaker distracted from hitting him and try to get that landing blow. And I don't know what he has to get that ending landing blow on Hopebreaker. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at with it, because it's like one blow for each of them and it's over.
Yeah,
but it has to be the right blow. Hopebreaker missed his blow, but Dark Spider now has to get his, and I don't know how he gets it.
But Hopebreaker went straight into defense. Once he turned intangible, it's a wrap. That's why I kept asking, like, yo, how long? How long? So even if, like I said, even if Dark Spider had an ultimate move that can, which he said he does have a move that hit intangible people. Dark Spider said that.
Right.
But if Hopebreaker is able to process so much
at once,
my decision came down like he saw who was going crazy and he went straight for the kill. Like, because if I was the right Hopebreaker, that's how I'll defeat Dark Spider. From the time I see the one soul pop locking and whatever, that's the guy I'm killing.
He just does this and
I ain't gonna lie, but I'm gonna put my vote at a draw, man.
Oh.
Off the scenario, you go with a draw?
I can't.
I think he's taking both how they.
I can't pinpoint that kill blow. Like I'm looking for it. Hopebreaker got his cape is the kill blow. His other things is a kill blow, but not Hopebreaker physically ain't gonna punch him and be a kill blow, right? Yeah. But Dark Spider has a kill blow with his punch. But how is he gonna get inside of this offense, this defense that's coming out?
But here's my thing: if I was Hopebreaker and I have the ability to create any weapon or anything like Green Lantern, what's to stop me from growing two balls the size of the web and keep forcing Dark Spider out? I mean,
balls is a crazy one to go.
Dark Spider is constantly on the reactive at this point. Man, pause, bro. Come on, dog.
Nah, you had to. Nah, you had to. That was kind of wild, bro. That was a little wild.
Balls is kind of diabolical.
That was a
Out
little.
Love diabolical,
No,
my
out
friend.
of
Lonzo.
every weapon,
I get
out of every weapon, my man went to 2 balls, man.
Wow,
Crazy.
what you say? 2 squares?
Nah,
No,
something.
the point that matters, as I listened, Darkspider stayed on the reactive because he has to. You know what I'm saying? Like he has to. He can't stop. Whereby Hullbreaker is gonna wait for a moment. And so either way, in this scenario, Hullbreaker is gonna take it every time because Hullbreaker is gonna take a win every chance because now Darkspider is bouncing all over this web. You know, Hullbreaker got so much going on. Like it's I don't know. I can't in this scenario.
And I ain't gonna lie too. After he missed that blow, he chose to make the web around him, but he could have just jumped back and reset everything. Just jump back to the top of the building and like, all right, let's try this again. And now they back at it again, trying something else. Trying something else. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm at a draw because I can't see where they're going.
When he said that he was the whole thing with the Maximal Spider, I assume he made the web and immediately started that kind of he's back and forth attacking. So that's why I guess I was kind of getting my verdict was like on paper, Hullbreaker wins. But based on how these two in this very particular built out scenario, how they described each of their characters going back and forth, Darkspider won because in that moment it was just like, no, he didn't hit with enough to knock him out, but now he set him up for that ultimate move and he went in. Now we could start over and say, how fast is that? Can Hullbreaker keep up with his speed? And then have a conversation about that speed and stuff. But according to, if he answered the question accurately, right, of what is that ultimate move that's going to knock him out, then that was the move. But
we got to give the cloak the same respect we gave the sickle.
Now that's true. You know what? You're absolutely right. I did not think about the cloak at all, and I apologize.
Yeah, you have to, that's what I'm saying. In this exact scenario, even if Darkspider gets close enough, that cloak got a mind of his own, just like the sickle. We gave the sickle the respect. We got to give the cloak.
We got to give the cloak respect. So before we end up in another 30-minute discussing the possibilities of the cloak, how fast Darkspider is moving in the midst and stuff like that, we're not the judges. Well, actually, Jamel, you are one of the judges in this, so good luck, gentlemen. But it's ultimately up to the fans, the groups, and obviously at the end of the day, the rest of the judges. It sounds like Jamel does have his vote, but there's still 2 other judges that need convincing in the comment section and stuff like that. Before you guys go,
don't do that. Don't do that. I said based on the scenario.
What's your vote, Lloyd?
Based on the scenario.
My vote, with acknowledgement of the cloak, then I would have to go with Hullbreaker.
Jamil?
But damn it. Okay.
No, after Jamil.
Listen, Hullbreaker's a little Absolver clone. You feel me?
Oh man, here we go.
Shots.
We're gonna have our match. We're gonna have our match.
You didn't have to say all that.
You know what I'm saying? That's my clone right there. But Twin, what's up? For this specific scenario.
How you praise him and try him at the same time?
I know, crazy, right? Crazy.
Don't worry, I'm gonna get my lick back. Don't worry.
So for this
next Saturday, Absolver versus.
No, I'm entering the ring when the rules change.
He's still in the rules change. Posting feats.
Listen, for this scenario, like I said, Hullbreaker seems like the type of character that I would write. He would go straight for the kill. I don't think it gets to the magical web per se. And like I said, Darkspider has a lot of medium to close attacks. Mm-hmm. That cloak would be the ultimate problem. And if he has to put up the web to gain that speed, then speed is not even his advantage at all. So for this specific scenario, that's the biggest reason why I'm going with Hullbreaker. And like I said, Hullbreaker is processing a lot simultaneously, where Darkspider medium to close range combat, at all times. Hullbreaker sniping, Mr. Fantastic,
Yeah,
he got a lot that he can possibly go through. He got a lot in his bag. So
it sounds like this, as they do in battle rap, this is a 2-1 either way. 2-1 either way.
you gotta pick, bro. For this scenario, bro,
2-1 either way.
bro,
2-1 either way. To me, they both win. To me, it doesn't stop. Like, to me, they keep rumbling until somebody, I think that second round, after that first hit missed and Darkspider reset what was going on, I think then Hopebreaker might decide to turn it up and be like, okay, I just got to kill him. You know what I'm saying? And try his best way to just kill him instead of trying to do his soul thing, whatever. And I think that second bout will become a lot harder.
That's the determining factor.
I'm gonna tell you where Darkspider lost the fight. You went straight for the sickle attack.
Mm-hmm.
And you had the surprise element and you gave it away. Because if you're a medium to close range guy, you should have just went straight for the kill, because that tangibility was the first defensive move.
I didn't know. I honestly didn't know where they started with each other. I had no concept of space in this story, in this battle.
Which is fair.
Okay.
Like, because usually when I'm on battle boards like Comic Vine and stuff like that, they're like, 20 feet apart, this and this, like they tell me where people are. And I'm thinking, like, okay, at first I'm thinking they're seeing each other. They're right there seeing each other. I think I'm thinking they're standing on two rooftops or something, looking across at each other. You know what I mean? I think that's what in my head, how this scenario looks.
No, that's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Me, how I seen it, it was they're walking under an underbridge. Yo, what's up? Bump the shoulder, got it in.
Oh, so there's no surprise attack in that instance. They see each other in regards to that. So
that makes it worse, because if I'm Hopebreaker, I'm going to be intangible mode. If I see this dude dressed in black and yellow coming at me, I'm going intangible right off the bat. And then 2, the cloak is still on its own sensory timing, so it's like,
what I'll say is we'll build up the scenario a little more for you guys next time. But I personally liked that with you when we did the coin flip and you decided what was going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. That kind of set the stage. So giving kind of that creative freedom to you guys to determine, hey, we are both in Gotham City, but I saw you first. You know what I'm saying? Like, how am I going to move in? So it was perfectly fine how you attack the situation. But from now on, we will work to kind of build the scenarios out a little more in depth for you guys, because you're right, in those battle boards that kind of thing happens. But we do still have 3 other matches to go over, and we're not going to do it as in depth as we just did this one. I want you guys, to let everybody know where they can find you. What do you have coming out before we go ahead and move on to those last 3 fights?
You can find me at Lawful Evil Comics everywhere except for Twitter, because that character, they don't allow the S for some reason, so it's Lawful Evil Comic. We have the Pyre Kickstarter coming out, which is Lily Sucky Babe, who was there. That's more like a horror, like if you like Constantine, Hellboy, Jennifer's Body, it's more dark magic horror kind of stuff coming out. So that's going to show a little bit more of what she's got going on. And we may have working on some other issues for the mainline series, because Lawful Evil itself is the mainline. But that's it. That's
lit. That's dope. Y'all make sure y'all go follow that man. Glorious dude, always at cons showing love.
Thank you.
Giving books.
Yeah, my brothers, man.
Man. I love your character, man. I love your work, bro.
Oh no, as soon as I saw your name, I'm like, we've conversed before multiple times.
Yeah, I think I colored a couple of pictures for you back in the day.
Yeah, you did. You did.
A while back. But dope character. I'm a fan of lore.
Thank you.
Darkspider seemed like he had a lot going on. Just by me hearing the in depth of Darkspider, I definitely want to pick it up. And that's the beautiful thing about what Lloyd and that guy Lonzo started with this. It allows people to engage and learn your characters. To me, it's fun. It's not about the wins. It's fun to argue and defend your character, but again, you just created a whole new fan. If I'm listening and I created a fan, then more people is gonna buy into it. Also, that lore got me, bro. So yeah, keep it up.
Thank you. Yeah.
And
All right, Spiff, tell us who you are and how you're gonna body Absolver next week, man.
Yeah, Toke is definitely coming. I'm for sure. But yeah, what's up, guys? You can find me at heartline.comics on Instagram. You can catch up with all that stuff that we have coming out. Velocity X is out right now for actually the physical book is out right now, and then Hopebreaker is on pre-order right now. So make sure to go pre-order that book.
okay,
Hey,
gentlemen.
yo, I don't support my enemies, bro. So it is what it is.
Oh,
Oh, it's all
Wow.
right. It's all right.
he
No,
said
no,
when you.
listen. Hold on. Jamel, you gotta
Yeah.
buy the book. You know what you should do? You shouldn't fight him until after the book come out, so you can see what he can do. You gotta, and any fighter watches tape, right?
Right.
Watch the
You
tape,
gotta
man.
watch your tape, man. You gotta watch your
Hey,
tape.
listen,
Oh, okay.
listen. All Absolver needs to do is show up as himself, bro.
Oh,
Vanquish. Whatever your character can do, Absolver's doing. I'm gonna win 6 out of 10. Like it's just a wrap. I'm cool.
Oh,
Can
you said he the rookie, you the vet, still much better. That's
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. I don't even gotta lay all Absolver's moves out. I'll tell you his weaknesses too, bro. I ain't worried. I ain't
I
worried
look
about
forward to moderating that one. I know a lot more about Absolver than I do a lot than y'all's two characters respectively, and man, I can't wait for the back and forth in that
I
one.
mean,
Specifically.
I'm gonna watch from the stands. You know,
Yeah, you got to
I'm
buy
watching
it.
from the stands, man. Because my hatred for Jamil is too high, man. So
Yeah.
like I can't be there. You know what I'm saying? I can't be there, man.
You know what,
No.
Hopebreaker? I'm glad you destroyed Zoriel.
Oh God.
Wow. Zoriel had Spiff on the edge of his seats, man. Y'all better stop playing.
But gentlemen,
Look,
thank
look,
y'all.
look.
Oh,
I was gonna say, wait until Hopebreaker gets to his full form. You know what I'm saying? I can't spoil anything, but stay tuned.
okay. Nah,
He
but
looks like
gentlemen,
he's trying to be the champion of the supernatural realm in
in
Indie
the
Versus,
break,
man. I
yeah,
don't know.
we go see.
Like I said, I don't need to go final form God mode to destroy people, bro. You know what? I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry, Lloyd. Go ahead. Let these
It's
guys
all
go.
good. No, I'm a
know.
huge fan of trash talking, so I was just letting it ride. But no,
Hope
gentlemen,
Breaker versus Absolver. I'll win by name alone, bro. Like, come on. Like, who we talking?
he came back on the camera. Oh,
Man, he got the camera on. He said no face, no trace, man.
nah. But gentlemen, thank y'all for coming on. We are gonna move on to the other three fights. Definitely stay stay tuned, check out the live and stuff. We're still gonna be talking about several other ones. But anyway, thank y'all, and we'll talk to y'all in the chat. We'll talk to y'all in a second.
Thank you, Matt.
For sure. So, gentlemen, that was a good one. Those that was a good back and forth, stalemating and everything. That was outstanding. But we have another matchup that is not anywhere near a stalemate. They're getting their cheeks clapped right now.
Don't do
I'm
this.
so sorry, but right now, and Jupiter Man was a heavy contender back in the day in the Indie Breakdown group. However, Atridian, the new face with 0 losses right now, 44-2 right now.
The fan vote is real though. The fan vote is hard to judge.
Fan vote is crazy.
Ralph does this thing with Sharon, connecting with his people, and he's on it after every battle. Ralph texts me, "Yo, who's next?" I swear.
That's facts. Yes.
I get a who's next text every week. Who's next?
Yes.
So he's ready for y'all. Like he's not playing no games with none of y'all, man.
And
you know what I'm saying?
If you guys pay attention to obviously not the gentleman on this live, those of you guys that are watching, if you guys look at the tier list, right, and look at the stats that are provided, especially if they have a card done by Tavis, and look at those stats, Atridian moved up a weight class. Atridian is no longer in the same weight class as the Blitz, as the All Stars, and so on and so forth. Atridian is fighting universal to multiversal threats at this point. You have Jupiter Man, and I can pull his stat card up, but you have Jupiter Man who is able to control every storm that has ever existed, point blank period. He also has solar manipulation abilities as well. He has access to the spirit realm, and I'm kind of going off the dome here. I'm not reading it. I did read the book. He spent 200 years in the spirit realm, learning various techniques and stuff like that, because he is able to learn from the dead and stuff like that. So he has some time with these powers, so on and so forth. But you got a character like Atridian that is able to wield the energies of not only everything in the universe, but also various multiverses, various dimensions, and the various timelines in each of those verses, right? So anything that can change in way, depending on how they go about timeline, right? And this might be a question for Ralph if he's in here, so on and so forth. But depending on how you do a timeline, right? There's so many different, like if you use the Dragon Ball interpretation of it, right? One change constitute a whole timeline, right? So somebody went instead of right, that's now you have the person, the right one and the left one, two timelines. And so now you're talking about every choice has its own timeline if you go with that example. So literally wielding infinite power versus somebody that can use every storm in existence is insane. But again, can't just go based off of that. We've seen a Tridian over the last couple of weeks. I'm pretty sure he's got what, 5? He's 5-0 right now after his win last week. Yeah, so he's 5-0 right now.
I just really challenge the people to really look at these stats. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are just going off of, he won last week, he probably won this week. You know what I mean? Nah. Yeah. Really looking at Jupiter Man's stats, he's capable. He's capable of beating of a Tridian. So we hope the judges are really gonna go ham and really ask them questions, because this ain't fan vote is one thing, but the judges, y'all really got to do your homework, man.
Yeah. So y'all call it. We've seen Jupiter Man in the group before. Definitely a heavy hit. Definitely a character. Anybody that's watching, in case y'all don't know, he's beaten Soul and Acolyte in matches before. He's up there. He
ain't never beat Acolyte. He ain't never beat Acolyte.
That 3-way match. It was an unofficial match. It was an unofficial match, but the people spoke on that one, and somehow
I don't remember this battle.
Why is Acolyte even a part of the bar to be set? He's beating Acolyte.
He was challenged. He was challenged because apparently Acolyte was the bar of success when this first started. Everybody wanted to challenge Acolyte, even your punk ass.
Yeah, that first creator clash. That creator clash. Everybody was going for Acolyte.
You is personal, bro. Okay.
Listen.
I live to destroy you.
The Tridian only winning at the end. Put his ooh.
I think Jupiter Man and the Tridian is a really good battle, right? I feel like both of them are just ridiculous. Like, I don't know, like somebody's just gonna have to break somebody's neck, man. That's
now the problem with that is Jupiter Man has true immortality. He is, based on previous conversations we did an interview with Nathan Rouse a couple months ago as it relates to Jupiter Man, and it is his entire plan. Like, this is an eternal battle between good and evil for him. He has true. Now he can be knocked out, but he does have true immortality. So breaking neck, unfortunately, nah. Unfortunately, nah. Jupiter Man can't be killed in that manner. Or can't be killed.
I need to understand a Tridian's powers as far as controlling time.
He just does everything, bro. He literally damn near does everything.
Well, if he can, I give him the win, because if he can control time, then he can keep Jupiter Man in the loop, or whatever the case may be. To me, I'm based off the time. Since just wait until the book.
Silver Ghost Boy, crazy, bro.
I'm about to just call him right now, talking all that shit. Okay. I don't know, bro. Like, when characters are OP, you guys know how I feel about that, man. It's like,
these battles are becoming sort of unfun to judge, because it's like there's no give, there's no weaknesses, there's nothing to exploit. It's just like, I don't know, he wins because the writer says so, type thing. You know what I mean?
When Jupiter, if you was to break Jupiter Man's neck, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not an instant recovery, is it? Because technically, that's when it comes to that type of level of power, if you crack somebody's neck, that's a KO.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. So,
well, I just wanted to clarify, since we said win by death or KO. I just wanted to clarify that no, he probably wouldn't die from that. But to my understanding, and Nathan is in the comments there on Facebook, we do need that clarification. If Jupiter Man gets his neck cracked, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, if he gets his neck cracked, is he still going to fight like this?
is he going to insta regenerate or is he knocked out temporarily? But again, yeah. He said he left a battle sim in chat reviewing how I think it might go. But without the battle sim, what are your immediate thoughts on that? Can he survive his neck being broke? Will he?
I'm
Well,
pretty sure he
obviously
can
survive.
survive.
Excuse me. Sorry, wrong wording. Will he stay conscious from getting his neck broke? How long would he? And also, if not, how long would it take for him to recover from that? It's hands only because the offensive abilities cancel each other out. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, this is these upper echelons of power, these multiversal, damn near omnipotent, omniscient characters. Like Lonzo said, I'd just be regurgitating what he said. It's very hard to, not even necessarily hard to call, but it's one of those battles that just kind of would just keep going. So yeah,
Yeah, but you give it to a Tridian for time purposes and knockout purposes.
Yeah.
So
Next, I got red in my ledger. Red is in my ledger.
Oh man.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
Now we're talking like his neck isn't getting snapped. He has to get close enough, which is impossible. And we will dive more into that. Well, you guys will continue to fight about that one in the comments. Because now, and we've said this on the live before, but I do want to reiterate that there are going to be some changes and stuff coming soon. But a sneak peek of that is, if you have books, we're going to be asking for feats in the books. When we say, hey, we want base level characters, and you have a book, we're going based on what the book says. We can have the character sheets too, but they need to be backed up by feats that are in the book. So bit of a handicap for those that have stories and stuff like that, but the matches will be set up accordingly, because I think we talked about it last week with Coastal and Powerhouse, where we picked those matches and we thought those characters were a little more grounded, and we was like, okay, this is gonna be more of a grounded match. We're gonna put them in a space that's grounded superheroes fighting and stuff like that, and then found out that these guys are god tier, and it's just like, that is not that wasn't the intent at all. So Tridian and Jupiter Man both have books. I encourage you guys, and again, not necessarily a rule right now, but coming soon, prepare yourself. We are going to be saying books. What did they do? This is the criteria. Because it gets tough. The example that we used in a post, somebody commented about this. We said we can't go back to 1986 Dragon Ball Drop and say, hey, 30, 40 years from now, Goku's going to have Ultra Instinct. So Goku versus Superman 30 years from now, he's going to win. We can't do that. 1986, we had Kid Goku in the woods training under Grandpa Gohan. That's all we had. No Roshi yet. You know what I'm saying? So that's, I don't want 20 years from now. What can your hero do now? If there's something innate to them, so I'll use me as example. Soul, got 2 Egyptian deities within them. Okay. Whatever the deity physiology is, we could talk about it. Any potential transformation and power unlocks down the road, I can't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? So just we'll dive more into it as we continue to flesh this out, but just giving you guys an idea of what's to come.
Yeah, the battles are crazy.
You guys may have a bias here, obviously, for obvious reasons.
Forget freestyle comics. That's the censored version. Odino all day, baby.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Tell Mike I said what's up.
He's standing on business.
Standing on business.
He's standing on business.
Yeah.
So y'all both saying Odina? Y'all both saying Odina?
Lonzo better. Lonzo better.
Fight, man.
Lonzo.
As you know, when Michael Watson commented and said publisher versus publisher, so now it's in my ball court now. So yeah, it's all Odina now, man. You know
and to let everybody know, not a judge on this one. There's no bias. There is no bias on this one. The third one is actually Tashi J is the third one on this one. For this.
How are we looking on the fan vote right now?
Now on the fan vote is looking.
I think it's getting a little clapped, right?
Yeah. We're looking at 17 for Vigilance is on top.
I don't know.
And I gotta say, from the start, we just read Vigilance 1 through 4 this week, and I gotta say, her durability is kind of crazy. She's kind of her speed, her durability, her strength is kind of crazy. regardless of who wins, I think this match is high diff because Odina does not stay down long either. Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
It's a tough battle. Very tough battle. You know what I'm saying? It's worthy of a fight though. Them two going at it,
Very much so.
two of some of the most popular black women in comics in period. Are these two ladies? You know, there ain't many black ladies that are that popular in comics outside of the handful that we know.
Mhm.
And they could easily breach that top 10 easily right now.
Absolutely.
Easily. And I'm talking all of comics. They could easily crack the top 10.
Okay.
Well, Adina wearing her hair better, so she wins.
Damn.
There it is. She slayed,
Okay.
ain't she?
Yeah.
Yes. Bitch.
She ate. Yikes.
Yeah, period.
Okay. Gentlemen, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on really quick. Y'all get on my nerve. We've got Blitz versus Powerhouse. I think this is the last one, right? We've already talked Darkspider and Hope We had them on. We looked at Jupiter Man and the Champion. We just looked at Odina and Vigilance. The last one, which I think was another high ticket one that had a lot of comments and stuff with it. We're looking at Blitz versus Powerhouse. Call it, gentlemen. Fan vote says Blitz with 11-3 for Powerhouse. Is this accurate?
What's the scenario on that one again?
These two gentlemen are fighting on the raft. So they with the criminals in the middle of the damn ocean.
No casualties.
I mean, they heroes, so you know maybe they was dropping off some some villains or whatever like that. Got into an argument. They happened on the raft.
So it's kind of like almost this fight is almost like all flying then, right? Because they can be standing on top of the raft. Are they in the raft, or are they just
in the raft? Yeah.
Oh, are they in the raft? So then, so then casualties can definitely happen if they destroy it. That joint can sink and everybody dies on there, including the good old correction officers, right?
Right.
So they gotta fight in a way where they're not gonna kill everybody else.
For the simple fact that Powerhouse is always utilizing his avatar, I feel always
we are not doing that this time. I think we clarified that last week and brought it up this time. Clarified it on the last battle breakdown, and I think we may have said that during the post as well, or on this post on all of these where it's no everybody's base, everybody's there.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well.
No prep time. So he's just him. He didn't prep ahead and send an avatar. He is there. Standard base version. Contestants are in character. All that other stuff. No battlefield removal. So we're counting that as well as no. These gentlemen are there on the raft. Their actual persons are there. So no avatar this time. He's there.
And they fighting on ground.
They're fighting on ground. They're inside. They were trying to bring it. They brought in prisoners. Now, obviously, the prisoner part is not on here, but if they're on the raft and they're heroes, they have to be dropping somebody off. They're there dropping villains off, whatever. They're scrapping. They don't mess with each other. They are inside of it.
I don't know. To me, this is another OP situation, regardless how you look at it.
Yes.
And I can't give my direct answer right now because obviously I'm one of the judges.
That's fair.
I was just going to say that I believe the avatar gives him an automatic boost, not a win, but since he is there, that also makes my decision 10 times harder.
Yeah.
So
for me, it's not that hard, but I might have a slick bias because I lost to Blitz. I'm personally, one of the statements was just he's as strong as he needs to be when he wants to be. But the flaw in that for me is, well, the Powerhouse doesn't give him an opportunity to, let me start from the beginning. From my understanding, he can't sense energy, speaking of Blitz. So how would he know how much energy the person is emitting to have to worry about said person? Right. So Powerhouse, with abilities that he has to weaken his opponent by stealing, I think one of the arguments last week when fighting Kosis was something about utilizing electromagnetism to kind of draw out, something from them. I don't remember if it was their like slowing down the electricity from shooting in their brain and stuff like that for them to slow down their movement and so on and so forth. But a lot of those type of statements were made that on a almost atomic level, he's able to incapacitate his opponents. And so if Blitz has to wait to understand or see them as a threat, the problem is what's to keep Blitz from getting knocked out ASAP. That's in so many words, Dre.
Well, essentially, what I believe, what he's I would say is, Blitz cannot measure the strength he would need to take care of Powerhouse, if that makes sense. You agree, Lonzo?
I didn't know I was on mute, bro. So sorry about that. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree fully with what you're saying. I feel like I don't know. I feel like Blitz's power set is kind of more so plain and open to see, but I feel like Powerhouse he has too many hidden
Abilities.
hidden abilities and tangibles that I don't think my man's going to be able to really handle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
So-
I'm kind of leaning towards Powerhouse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but
You know,
that's what happens when you have like all this OP going on. I'm more intrigued to see what the enemies these characters are fighting, because there's no reason. I know, honestly, there's no reason
right.
such overpowered characters unless it's like you got a great story to follow behind. And when you listen to some of these and you talk about them, there's no setback, there's no weaknesses. Like, I'm gonna be straight up because I think it's fun. Like, the way the Vanquish works, if Absolver can't get that off, he can't win against most of
It's
these characters.
cooked, right?
You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's fun. Now, if we built a scenario where we did like we did with Darkspider and Hopebreaker, then now we can talk about the hows and this and then the third. But Absolver can only do but so much between now and issue 4. You know, and to me, playing this game of chess, that's fun. When I went up against Acolyte, regardless of how much shit I was talking, that Kokora shield, I was already don't got nothing to beat that.
Yeah.
I don't. So I think a lot of these characters that these people everybody's created now, they look dope, names are dope. I ain't gonna hold you. The abilities are fly as hell, but at some point though, like I want to read your book.
Yeah.
So
they can't be overpowered. Like
I feel like creating a character that has obvious, it's how you hide the weak spots. That what's make it dope. Don't just give them power over everything so that they have none. Like, you know what I mean? If robots is a problem for your character, you don't got to mention it, but you know that. Somebody says, well, he's an android, he doesn't have a soul. Now you got a problem. You know what I mean? Just deal with it. How do you beat that?
But you know what? We're such fans of what we grew up watching. Like, everybody wants to make their favorite hero or favorite character. That's all we do. Take what we love and create something new. But then we just go way over the top. So when you like the first Predator movie, technically Predator would win 9 times out of 10. But in that one scenario, he figured out who
was able to get him.
And then he got him, and that's what made it such a fun.
Yes.
Like every time you ever see Batman beat Superman, it's only based off a scenario. Batman can't beat Superman.
Me and you talk about that often. It's like when Batman fights Superman, he's not fighting Superman. He's fighting Clark. That's why.
Right.
Yeah,
He out,
that's,
he
yeah,
out here fighting his own. Superman don't even know he's fighting him. He's like, what the hell?
right.
What is this cake you got? You got me a cake? You got kryptonite in it.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell?
So to
Like, yo,
piggyback
why would you do this?
on what Jamel said is, yeah. So y'all be prepared because the expectations is no longer just he wins because he wins, right? That's like a blanket. Oh, the hero has to win in the story because that's what you expect. When that's not what we're looking for here. We want like ingenuity. We want the hero is backed up against the wall, the character's backed up against the wall. We want to know the process as to how your character wins.
Yeah.
And for the judges that may be watching as well, I and obviously, me, Tasha, and Lonzo run this whole thing, but and chime in at any point. But I don't think we're gonna find it as acceptable answers anymore. Of, well, they said they're gonna win because they win. No, judges, we want you guys to continue questioning as you have, but we want clear cut. Not even battle sim, bro. I want to know when you're writing the story, you're writing the encounter, who wins? How does your character get it out the mud? I'm out of energy. If I do this one move, Absolver, I could use Vanquish one damn time. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're talking just issue 2, right? Obviously, whatever. I can use this move. If I miss, it's over.
So
That's all I got. Thinking season 1, 2 of Yu Yu Hakusho, he could use the spirit gun 2, 3 times, 1 or 2 times.
Right.
It's over. Now what? What else is in your arsenal? If you got to trick your opponent, if you got to use the environment to your advantage, that's what I really want to see. Y'all start using these environments to your advantage. We want to see you're writing this one-shot crossover issue. How does your character win, and why? That's it. So
I ain't gonna lie, kind of like the trading card game me and Jamil played at that convention. I think that's the best way to do it. We just give people a certain amount of, everybody got a score, and you got certain cards or certain move sets that have a certain amount of power on it. But if you draw this card when he hits his dodge, you miss out on all them points. He gets it. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
I think that's how we do it. You know,
yeah,
because in that mindset, the power doesn't actually matter. It matters how you play the game. How do you fight? You know what I'm saying? What's your strategy to win?
yes,
And that ultimately makes it pretty dope. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because you know, it's just like playing Injustice on the game. You can be Robin and you can fight Superman because of the rules here. You know what I'm saying? Superman does have a move. He's flying you to space, and you should die. But
right,
in this world, in this Mortal Kombat world, everybody is here.
right,
But
like
your combinations and how you fight is how you win. You know what I mean?
I forgot what it is I used to watch. But they would break down the scenario. They would tell the characters their
death
strengths,
battle.
weaknesses, death battle, right? And so what stuck out with me is, you know, after running so many scenarios, Spider-Man beats Batman just because of the spider sense. And in the real world, that just makes sense.
Right,
Now, I'm not saying there's no other scenarios where Spider-Man's speed and strength and agility doesn't play a part,
right,
but with even with all of that, Batman, and because of Batman's villains, they gave him somewhat of a notch with Spider-Man's strength, speeds, ability, agility, and whatnot. But they said ultimately that Spider Sense wins, and I feel like that's a good way of looking at it. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, but even when they broke down Captain America versus Deathstroke, same reason. Their mentality
yes,
came into play because Deathstroke is designed to kill first, where Captain America wouldn't try to kill first. There's other reasons, but that was one of the main core reasons why Deathstroke got that win. So I feel as if like what I liked about Dark Spider and Hope Breaker conversation is, like I said, dope characters. On paper, it just looks like whoop, 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 a lot going on, but when you hear them and you break it down, you get fans, you get people that's interested, want to ask questions and learn. And I think that's more important than the actual you winning
right.
battle. It's not about winning. It's about helping the community grow and helping us fall in love with your character and your
Yep.
story, so on and so forth.
It's about playing the game, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't come in here with a stacked You know what I mean? Like it's almost like when you go online to play a fighting game and you play a ranked fight, they're not going to put you against somebody that unlocked everything and you're like just base. You know what I'm saying? A base level character. They match you with somebody that's equal to you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, yeah, man. I feel like if you got other versions of your character, then that has to be another card. I mean, another stat card. It can't be the same one. You know what I mean? This is his card. This is who he is. Because on all the trading cards I got Wolverine card. Then they got Weapon X card. They got other cards where his feats are a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the version he was when he was Weapon X. He was more berserker, more whatever. So you know what I mean? His ferociousness was rated a lot higher than just regular Logan. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, if you got other versions of your characters, y'all, just create another sheet. Create another sheet. Make the base, then create this God tier level of him, this in-game level of him. And when you come into a battle, choose which card you bring it in.
Yeah. We want to encourage creativity. Not just, I win.
Yeah. I win is trash. I win is definitely trash. And you know, to talk back on your spider sense, I think one of my favorite versions of this spider sense, bro, was on I was watching the Far From Home the other day, and his spider sense was so heightened, he was able to sense the change in emotion in the room. That's how he was able to figure out it was Green Goblin. That was fire. Because Green Goblin couldn't even figure it out. He's like, yo, that's crazy. Because he wasn't making no moves. He was like moving real slow how he was moving. And Spider-Man just felt something. It was just like, he said, oh, no, something's wrong. And he could feel like the vibrations there. He was checking for everything. He was checking their heart, and he couldn't sense it. He just had to lock in. Once he locked in, he was able to figure that out. And I think that in itself is a feat that's crazy. If he's that locked in on you, he can sense your emotional change. That's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah,
and so that's what we want, bro. Everybody watching, that's what we want. We're gonna close out because I'm supposed to be getting ready to go in here and watch Tasha actor behind off in this play. So, Jamel, what's up, bro?
Like I said, Absolver 4 is dropping this year. I'm excited. You know, not to give too much away, but it will definitely issue 4 would definitely help in the direction I'm trying to take Absolver in. I hope everybody's gonna love it. Work on a new character I'm gonna drop. You know, just gonna put it out there. Definitely also working on that Maven for everybody. I know we talked about it during our 5-year anniversary, but I'm just excited for everything they got going on. I too have been a part of secret projects. Yeah, I have been. But I mean, you know, and like I said, CEO Concrete Comics, pretty soon.
Yeah, y'all.
Excited.
Y'all new toxic secret. Y'all new toxic CEO of Concrete Comics, Mr. Jamel Leslie, man. I understand nothing will be fair anymore. There will be nothing just. It will be just all hell and brimstone, fire and brimstone, man. That's it.
Everybody embrace the darkness, bro.
It's time. Y'all know what it is. One of the best pieces of advice I received was not to be afraid and let your OC take an L. That's a fact.
Yep.
Yeah, taking an L that's everybody takes an L. Superman has lost. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Thanos has lost. Darkseid
Goku has lost.
Goku has lost. Everybody we know has lost, bro. And it made them a better person.
Mm-hmm.
It made them better. You know what I'm saying? I literally have no idea how Acolyte is gonna beat Beless. Like, I'm still trying to figure it out. I have no clue. And that to me, that's the fun in writing.
Yeah.
That's the fun part, man. Because I'm really trying to figure this shit out. I call Jamil and Lloyd all the time. Yo, bro, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this, bro.
That last page of 6 is chilling. That joint is chilling.
I don't know how I'm gonna save Earth, bro. She's coming to Earth. I don't know what we're gonna do.
I thought we said Absolver is gonna fly up there and save Acolyte and fight Beless together. I thought Absolver saved it.
Absolver becomes a sacrifice, a permanent sacrifice as Beless's chair. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, ooh, he's gonna become Beless's chair. Think Absolver's gonna have a problem?
That's wild work.
I don't think he would. I don't think we'd have a problem. I wouldn't have a problem.
No, you know, Absolver will become Vales's chair, bro. Like
now Doom made Ben Grimm his chair in Fortnite. That's disrespectful.
That's wild.
A grown man sitting on you for eternity. That's diabolical.
No,
I don't know what he did with Sue Storm. I didn't see that part.
He trapped her in some container thingy, I believe, when I saw the pictures.
He put Mr. Fantastic is in a ball in the container, and then Johnny Storm is like his fireplace. He just turns them on fireplace. I don't know what he did to Sue. I don't know what he did.
Close the It's wild. Doom is wild. Doom is wild. No. Let everybody know what you got going on, Lonzo.
Oh yeah, my bad. So yeah, man, y'all know what it is. Just follow me at Concrete Comics, man. ConcreteComics.com. Lonzo Star on all social medias. Y'all know y'all need any coaching, consultant that's available. Y'all need projects done. Y'all need any coloring, artists, writers. We are at your service. We got a lot of projects coming out, and 2025 is crazy. We got a crazy lineup, and we're closing out the year with Absolver. We might drop a little Base Force, maybe even a little Primate. Y'all don't know. It might get dark towards the end of the year, but y'all just stay tuned, stay focused, man, and it is what it is. Keep it concrete.
Okay. As we said,
shout out my man Thad Williams too. Thad Williams, Fire, man. We've had some glorious sessions, and he got a character coming out that y'all are gonna love for sure. For sure. I mean, and he's going through the Lonzo workshop right now, man. So
oh boy. Another
Oh
boy, here we
go. For sure.
No, but as y'all know, Boyd Jones, one half of Midnight Comics. My wife is Tashi J. And we are now offering, we have been offering for a while, but finally advertising that we have a public domain masterclass. So if you guys want to start creating characters, don't know where to start, public domain is a great place to start, and we teach you kind of how to safely utilize those characters. The way that we utilize the Butterfly, first ever African-American superhero ever created, predating Storm and Vixen, safely in the characters, and she is the mother of our character, the Blue Morpho. So if you want to learn how to do that safely, especially with Batman and Superman becoming available in the public domain within the next decade, why not learn how you can utilize that as well? As it relates to last thing about Midnight Comics, get yourself a free copy of Soul digitally by joining our mailing list, because everybody's raving about it. So definitely check all of that good stuff out. But moving to the indie breakdown side, we did that event a while back, Enter the Mother of Chaos, where you guys kind of banded together to try to take on Valesse. That story, or that entire event, all the back and forth, everybody telling us how their characters would win, strategy, innovation, all that other good stuff, being creative and stuff. We went ahead and took all of those comments, all of those conversations that happened, and made that into a story available on our website as well. So if you guys read Part 0, Issue 1, 2, and 3 should be available right now. So the whole story should be available for you guys to read how it turned out. A bunch of you guys took part of it. So definitely check that out and see if you guys managed to stop Valesse. And everything that happens in this amalgam universe of Indie Breakdown is canon to the Indie Breakdown. So niggas died. We lost characters in this event. And the next event continues in that universe. So
major shout out
to decisions wisely.
Man, Paige Alfred was one of the first casualties of war. Shout out to him, man.
Bro. Yeah, man, big shout out. The next part, if you guys haven't read it yet, has Super Termite, Metro Man, and one Absolver. So see if they had what it takes to take on the Children of Chaos. And so yeah, all that's available on the site right now.
Absolver wins. Absolver goes to vanquish everybody and then take out Children of Chaos. They light work.
Find out if that's how it turned out based on the conversations only at midnightcomics.org. But no, anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. We truly appreciate you guys. And remember, until next time, Midnight is coming. Keep them character sheets ready.